Good morning to ladies and gentlemen, visionary speakers and distinguished leaders. We welcome you to this special edition of Elets BFSI Vision 2026 series. I am Vishwas Sinha, your host and editor at Elets Technomedia, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this another thought leadership dialogue where we engage with India's most influential voices across BFSI, fintech, and technology. At Elets, our 22-year journey has been dedicated to showcasing how technology and visionary leadership are transforming India's most critical sectors, be it from governance, from education, healthcare to BFSI. And as we build our momentum towards the Elits BFSI Leaders Retreat and Awards that is going to be happen in Lonavala on 13th and 14th February 2026, the BFSI Vision 2026 series serves as a strategic prelude, bringing together the leaders who are shaping the future of infrastructure, trust, and innovation in India's BFSI ecosystem. And today, it's my privilege to welcome you all with Mr. Manoj Dhanda, founder and chief technology officer at Utho Cloud. We welcome you, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you, Vishwas. Happy to be here.
Yes, Mr. Manoj, I hope I am pronouncing the name and the organization correctly. Or do you want me to
Perfect.
just...
Perfect. No, absolutely perfect.
Thank you. So, guys, in order to brief you about Mr. Manoj, so Mr. Manoj here is the founder and CTO of India's first homegrown public cloud platform, that is Utho Cloud. And Mr. Manoj is a visionary technologist with over 15 years of experience in cloud computing, IT infrastructure, digital transformation, and all. Mr. Manoj has consistently built products that address the real world market needs and solution towards BFSI and technological industry. So we welcome you, Mr. Manoj, once again to this special episode of BFSI Vision 2026 series.
Thank you, Vishwas.
So I guess, Mr. Manoj, we can just delve into our conversation and let's hope to have a good chat over there.
Sure, definitely. Let's go.
All right. So, Mr. Manoj, first things first, I would like to ask, since we are, talking about this Elets BFSI Vision series, so my first question would be directed towards this only, like as BFSI sector is, going to enter in the next digital phase, because currently we are talking about it. So, how will cloud evolve from the, as a cost tool to a foundation of trust and resilience and compliance by 2026 for most BFSI companies?
So, Vishwas, I believe things are now changed if we compare last decade to this decade where the AI era is also here. Earlier, cloud was about how cost effectively it will be for us, and I believe that phase is now over. By 2026, I believe BFSI will look cloud as a critical national infrastructure, not just IT, because it's trust the uptime, audit readiness, and resilience should be there. It's matter more because more than just saving a few rupees on the compute, the critical infrastructure is required to trust, which ultimately have the uptime, resiliency, audit ready. And if you see before all the banks were using the all different hyperscalers from the West as well, not from the India. But
Yes.
RBI also changed the guidelines to see the data in India. So I
Yes.
believe now RBI and the financial institutions are realizing that infrastructure itself can become a risk if it is not designed right, if it is not designed within the country. So cloud has become the compliance ready from day one, right? It have the resiliency, it have the security controls, it have the audit logs, it have the DR functionality, all built in, not need to be passed later, right? So I believe now it's not about hosting the infrastructure within their own buildings to just cut down the cost and have the complete security and control. Now, as the cloud have the complete control and the security for the banking ecosystem, so I believe trusted platform within India will play a big role these years, now next years.
Yes, very well explained, Mr. Manoj, and thank you so much for answering that. Bringing up RBI, and you have completely, and I clearly agree with your point, sir, that the structure or infrastructure that is being made in India, and that should be the key focus for most of the companies in 2026 if we are entering. And RBI must, have the good compliance control over that as well. Because yes, you have mentioned about West.
Yeah,
Most of the tools and infrastructure that we use today is from West today. But if we build like Utho Cloud, that is one of our own brand. So I guess that is going to really pursue for not for the BFSI, but for the whole technological industry out there. So
absolutely, absolutely. I believe we were forced to use those West tool because there were
yes.
no such technology built in India. But now, if you see the last decade, it's
Hmm.
huge building happening in India, and I believe
Wow.
the BFSI or any other industry, the India, the trusted cloud tools or the any technology tools is building here in the home ground. So I think things are changing very fast. I believe on the time because it's the perfect time to changing the technology.
Great vision, Mr. Manoj. Thank you so much for sharing it. So, moving forward, Mr. Manoj, I would like to ask, you know, if we talk today about like data localization and digital sovereignty, so how can you mentioned about that these homegrown cloud platforms? So, how these homegrown platforms, like if we talk about Utho here, so shape India's BFSI technology backbone? Because data localization and sovereignty that we talk about is actually a key thing that many companies want today. So yeah, how do you
Absolutely,
see it
absolutely.
can be shaped?
And
Yes.
I truly believe, Vishwas, this is very much important, not for any sector, but for our people who are in India, because data should be secured and should be in India. So BFSI is in India need infrastructure that understand the India first, right? And that can be done via Indian founders only because they grown here. They know how things are working in India, how people are behaving here, how they consuming the data. So I believe homegrown platforms like Utho and other who building build with the Indian regulations, RBI expectations, and the local compliances. Reality is in the mind, so that data stay in India, operates in India, and if tomorrow need to be hold accountable, can be accountable in India, not to just pass the documentation overseas and then see what can be the response from those west companies. Now can be holding the accountable any Indian organizations. So global hyperscalers are great, I'm not saying anything wrong with them, but they're designed for global scale, not for the local ecosystem, not for the local securities. So when we talk about Indian BFI's need, I believe regulatories, that I said, auditors and institutions should have the direct engagement without any complication, without any restrictions. So I believe Indian cloud providers will play a huge role here, not just the alternative, but became a better strategic partner for BFSI.
Perfect. Very well explained, sir. And you have mentioned, platform that grow in India that actually know the roots of, its customers, its companies, and its soil. Basically, how do people behave to a certain technology that is going to enter? So yes, that is very well mentioned,
Absolutely.
and I guess these homegrown platforms are really going to be a game changer in upcoming 2026 and moving forward. Very well explained, sir.
Absolutely.
Just a second. Yeah. So, moving forward, Mr. Manoj, I would, like to put a light on infrastructure bottlenecks over there. So many banks and NBFCs are, still, if you can see, like they are still relying on the legacy core systems. And, these are basically the, tough infrastructure bottlenecks, I must say. And they must, fix to scale securely. How do you think these are going to be fixed?
I believe the major problem here is the biggest bottleneck, the legacy infrastructure and legacy application architecture.
Perfect.
Uh,
Yes.
as I'm aware, more of the banking ecosystem is all monolithic. It's not
Yes.
scalable with the smart modernization technologies, right? It's not in the function. It's not divided with the multiple functions to run on the multiple compute instances. So if we talk about security, we will talk about scalability. That is something not here with the monolithic systems. So that need to be changed to the modernizations architecture, where we call it API first. So everything should be driven with the APIs, not just API and the user interface built on the same system. That is not secure, and that is not fast enough to scale. So I believe if banks and ecosystems nowadays are changing now, and if everyone start to change monolithic to the modern ecosystem of the technology, when they build any applications for the customer centric or the bank inside ecosystem where bank employees are using those ecosystems. So if that is on not on the monolithic, I think will be much faster. Uh, will be intelligent enough to use the latest modern technology like AI workloads can be integrated safely. In the monolithic, that is not possible. So the answer is not rip and replace. The answer is smart modernization, API first. And if anyone can go API first, convert their monolithic to module architecture, they can actually adopt the cloud native technologies and allow legacy and the new systems to work safely and scale without worries about the workloads.
Very well
Yeah,
said, Mr.
Vishwas, you here?
Manoj. I guess you have clearly mentioned these all back and monolithic systems over there, and I completely agree with your point that not if we see today, like most of the banks have already implied and applied the API and AI ecosystem into their banks, but still there are the large number of percentage of banks and NBFC that are still operating on these monolithic systems, and that is what I guess stopping them to be become a cloud native organization, I guess. And it is also if it appoints or use that technology, I guess that will be a definite changing section to the BFSI landscape as well, because the numbers that we
Yeah,
are talking about, the percentage that we're talking about, many large banks and India's many large banks actually step into that zone. So yeah, you have
correct.
clearly mentioned,
Things
and
are changing. Things are changing now.
yes, yes, and
Yes,
that should
Vishwas.
be, sir. I guess because if we talk about a bank, some the long last bank that's been here for 75 years, so that should apply these technologies because they have a huge set of data amount, and a lot of the transactions that they are currently facing uh, in a day or two, I would say. So yeah, you're clearly right about it, and I completely agree with your points. Thank you so much for answering that. So yes, moving forward, Mr. Manoj, I would, you have mentioned about bottlenecks over there. You have mentioned about, adopting APIs in ecosystems. So I would like to know how AI and, DevOps and the cloud native architectures that we are really talking about together transform this, risk management ability or scalability or efficiency in BFSI, and what is the vision behind that we can see by 2026 in it?
Uh, I believe the conversation is already happening everywhere, and by 2026, it will be in the mainstream everywhere. So AI will not just sit on dashboard anymore. It will be actively predict the risk for the banks, for the customers, detect
Yes.
the anomaly very fast, and flag any failure before they happen in the ecosystem. That can be at the infrastructure level or can be at the software layer, right? So DevOps is always known for make deployment faster, You can create the dev pipelines. It's also safer because the things are getting checked at the multiple steps in the DevOps life cycles. Once they have the dev stage, then they have the staging environment, and then it go to the production environment. So
Okay.
everywhere it check for the compliances, it check for any specific reasons that should not be pushed on the production. So
Yes.
I believe cloud native architecture, including the DevOps and built with the AI, will ensure system will scale whenever it need and can be isolated any failures when things go wrong. So it is not about things will go wrong and then we are figuring out what have to be done now. It will
Yes.
be
Yes.
proactive. So I would say net result will be less firefighting because it's proactive and more control, more predictability, which exactly I believe the BFSI or any other critical industry need nowadays.
Very well said, sir. And you have said that it is not just in talks today; it is already happening, right? It's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
happening, all this. So yes, that is actually a great statement and vision that we are currently projecting for most of the companies. And as you have clearly mentioned, sir, like there are many steps in BFSI sector. If we talk about, in order to get the customer satisfaction, you have to go through a lot of the steps. And yes, if we just build a cloud native architect, or incorporate AI just there, then things actually become very easier for the organization to operate more scalable, on a scalable note. So yeah, that is actually a great statement. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, Mr. Manoj, moving forward, I would like to ask. So it is a if we talk about, as BFSI workloads become mission critical, like you mentioned about the whole structure, that how the things in operation actually work. So how important do you think will reliability and uptime and compliance by design be compared to this cost optimization?
Uh, I believe the cost optimization is somewhere important to make sure the cost you passing to your customers to host all
Okay.
whole ecosystems to provide those functionality where the customer facing app or inside the banking apps where the employees are working and supporting
Yes.
these customers. So nowadays when banking system will have the AI in their ecosystem, the cost will be somehow increase, right? But when we talk about cost increase, it will ultimately impact the end customers. And their cost saving, I believe, will be play a crucial role. But if trust is broken somewhere, it will not beneficiary, right? So any outage, any data issues can wipe out years of saving for the banks. So yes, cost will matter for sure, I would say. And but reliability, compliance will always matter more because that is more important. By 2026, I believe BFSI leader will choose cloud platforms that predictable performance, because that is very important. The end user experience. If you have the lowest latency, that will give the better experience to the users. And should be the high availability. So any DC downtime or anything happen in one specific zone, it should be automatically moved to the DR zone. So high availability, not for the DR, but in the same data centers as well. If anything happen on a specific clusters, it will automatically move to the different clusters. So customer facing applications of banking ecosystem will stay online. It will be not like if I remember around 10 years back, we were standing in the banks lines and people are saying server is down. So that is not a era that we are living in. It's now server down is nowhere you will able to hear. It should be always up. So high availability will be play a very crucial role here, and the audit should be in your confidence. If you have the audit confidence on the infrastructure provider, you are good to go. Haven't uh, haven't uh, not not even they have the big brand that but if you have the infrastructure audit and security control, you're good to go for any audits that happening on the BFSI ecosystem. Uh, we have multiple client in this ecosystem, and we know how audit are critical for them, how things are happening every quarter, uh, how they take the compliances. So I believe cost will be a role, but
Yes.
compliances, audit, and the infrastructure reliability will be the more important for the banks.
For sure, for sure. Very well said, Mr. Manoj. And you have mentioned about the server down thing over there. And yes, it actually costs too much for the banks. If we talk about traditional structures, and still people and customer used to face these kind of the problems. But yeah, nowadays if we are seeing, then yeah, the cloud uptime and this optimization that we are talking about is actually going to progress and give a good head start to banks as well, and
Yeah.
the NBFCs are currently working traditionally. So yes, very well said, Mr. Manoj. Thank you. Moving forward, Mr. Manoj, I would, like to ask from a global point of view, and we have talked about in the first few questions as well. Like, what is the mindset shift? Do you think that BFSI leaders need when moving from global hyperscale to trusted India's first cloud platforms, India first cloud platforms? That what is the first and more definitive mindset shift that BFSI leaders should do?
Uh, so if you look at the conversation it's happening, I believe if I'm also reminding myself what exactly happening from last 30 minutes, I think
Yes,
it's all about the accountability, all about the responsible partner. So I
very well
believe
said.
the mindset shift is very, very simple. It's from biggest brand to most accountable partner for the BFSI. Whenever you need any audits, whenever things go wrong, whenever local regulations required anything, and the people you require to understand who exactly understand the local ecosystem
Yes,
is very, very important. And if something is not from the India, it's tough to understand those things. People can read the documents, people can understand, learn, but the exact understanding who one of the Indian ecosystems team who born and brought up here can understand, no one will be able to understand. It is always like Indian know how Indians work. So I believe India First platform offer the control, transparency, and the alignment. So this is not about the replacing any hyperscales anywhere, but it is about the choosing the right platform uh, uh, for the right risk profile. If anyone in the BFSI choose any hyperscalers, and if tomorrow any audits happening, and imagine you locked out and any West companies are saying, no, this is not under our policy. We will not be able to do. Okay, we are going to change our policy because every companies have the terms in their policy document that they can change at any time. So if you host for next few years any hyperscalers, if tomorrow your data
yes,
get locked out, tomorrow any audit denied by these hyperscalers, you'll not be able to have them accountable. But if
yes,
anyone in the Indian cloud provider, you can hold them accountable because they are on the same land. They will follow all the legality here, right? So I believe the biggest shift will be the biggest from the biggest brand to the most accountable
accountable partner.
partner. Yeah.
Very well said. So very well said. And yes, I guess most of the people that are currently watching this and will align with this thought as you have mentioned. Like, we know how things actually work on ground in the India's BFSI sector, and someone from India First platforms that actually knows how to operate this shift basically, and that would be very easier for them to pursue things and make things in a very good and channelized manner. So very well said, Mr. Manoj. And I'm just very grateful for the thoughts and vision that you shared. So,
Thanks.
just before parting our ways, Mr. Manoj, I would just like to ask, you know, we are talking about Utho here. So, from your journey, building to this platform, this cloud native platform, what are the lessons, that can help the institutions to balance innovation speed with, security and governance? As we have already talked about it, but I would like to know from your perspective, like how these things are actually work for Utho.
Uh, I believe one lesson that we have is when we're building something, we always talk about security.
Yes.
We always talk about governance. And I believe one mindset that everyone I notice have, that if we think about these things, we will not be able to grow faster.
Yes. Perfect.
Uh, One thing that I found here, that it is not about security and the governance and the things that you need to be taken care when you build and it will slow. No, it is always the poor design. If you have the poor design ecosystem, can be your application, can be your infrastructure, can be your team environment, can be your culture, it will give you the slowdown, not the security and governance. Because security and governance will always protect you, always give you reliability. And that is all about this ecosystem, this era of AI. If you don't have the reliability, you are gone. No matter how fast you are, how uh, cost of optimization you are offering. But if you don't have reliability, something will not be able to work for the long term. So at Utho, what we learn is to build strong foundations, make automations, have the clear observability, so that we can, if anything goes wrong, we can see what exactly happened. We can detect things faster, not just troubleshooting after things happening. So I
Yes.
believe the proactive approach helping us very, very well in anything before anything goes wrong, we able to detect that. So when we have automation, we have observability enough, and the ecosystem which we call as a culture inside the company, that is very important. We call our team play like soldiers. So
Perfect.
sometime, if anything goes wrong, all the people come together and able to fix the challenges, not just the shift to shift. So when you build such a culture, build for the country, so your team also play like a soldier's role. So innovations, I believe, should happen freely, but with the defined boundaries. That everything should be secured in the governance and should be built for the reliability. This is something I learned when I building Utho, and I think that is balance, scale without breaking the trust with the customers. Because if we are reliable, we are able to give the maximum uptime to the customers as expected. We're able to achieve all the SLAs. That is a big win, I think. Yeah.
Yes, very well put up, Mr. Manoj, actually, and that is, very great for our viewers as well, who are, thinking about making something of their own or building the platform, Indian homegrown platform. So that is the, basic key idea that you have shared, the environment that you create in your team, and like you mentioned about, the soldiers in a war zone. So yes, that is
Yeah.
actually a great thing, and that is how actually few, not these company like yours, Utho Cloud, but there are going to be more companies that are going to be partner with, not just from the BFSI, but from governance sector, from IT sector, from, be it a fintech one. So they are also, giving a head to the collaborations as well. Because if we, maintain a standard like this, so everybody wants to go easier on that then, and who has the solution? You guys have the solution. So that is really a key thing that you guys are providing. Thank you so much for sharing the journey, Mr. Manoj. And
Yes.
you know, before parting our ways, since we are talking about Elets BFSI vision 2026 series here, Mr. Manoj. So I would just like to ask you, looking ahead, what is your vision for 2026 and for India's BFSI cloud system, or how can collaborations with different technological sectors can really accelerate the BFSI ecosystem?
Uh, I believe we need to be more focused on the regulatory things in India happening, not only BFSI but other tech platforms as well, where we need to be collaborate, because now things are moving at the fast pace in India after the AI era start booming. So uh, I think India should be globally respected in the technology now. I heard many years, and I personally myself face the people were asking me and talking to me that, hey, you will not be able to build anything here. It is not possible to build something in India. So these things always build in the West, and we are consumers. We can't be creators. But we did it. We built a platform, and I believe the uh, things are happening in India now. People are building huge deep tech technologies. Even the AI tools. We have the largest data center in the country. So I think we already started started answering to people that India can build something. India will not be just the consumers. India will be the creators for the technologies. India will be the creator for whole digital ecosystem. And I think we are the largest user based country who have the digitalization. So everyone have the phone in their hands. They're using even social media, using banking ecosystems on the phones, and using productivity tools on their own phones. So it's all digital. Uh, I think gone those days when we were writing on the paper and pen. It is now it is now a me time when we start using writing on the paper and pen. It is like no distractions. But if we see any side of technology, how we grown here, I think very fast in last decade. And India has the talent. India have the scale. If we see people like Zomato in the India, right? Just look at the scale that they have. And I believe there is
Indeed.
no such company in the world who built such a ecosystem yet. And so with the large number of data centers, high capacity in the power and the rack sizes, GPU demand is increasing day by day in India. So my vision will be for to have the more maturity ecosystem, to bring the more talent, because India has great talent, to scale this ecosystem faster, because now we have the urgency. And if we talk about the country's security, sovereignty will play a big role. So when we have the technology ready, because now opportunity we have. So if we have
Yes.
before, whenever anything happen, a prime minister used to announce that we will use Indian products. But if we see
Yes.
that time Indian products, there will no high-end tech product, no deep tech product in India. So we will not be able to use the Indian products. But now we have those products. We have the opportunity for the next few decades. And to fulfill that opportunity, we will have the cost effective, we will have the full control, because our platforms are completely open source, our data centers are largest, no bottleneck at the size of the data center or the power utilizations, and even the greener data center now available. So when we have the complete control on the data, on the platform, on the cost optimizations, and the complete accountability here, I think India it start growing in terms of the technology ecosystem, and we will see the India will be proud. The people will now globally already started saying that India will do something in next decade.
Very well
Yeah.
said, Mr. Manoj. And the insights in the whole conversation, for past 30 minutes that, as you have said, we've been talking about, if we take accountability of the things that we want to pursue in India, I think, that vision aligns with the government, with the security, and with the compliances as well. So yes, and very great key takeaway that I'm taking from you is that, be accountable for the things that, you are pursuing. Build a homegrown brand, because we know the roots, that how people are actually behaving in India. And yes, that is the very insightful conversation and vision that I'm currently aligned with, yours. So thank you so much for sharing all these insights, Mr. Manoj. And we had really had, been very grateful for you coming here and delivering us such a powerful insights. So thanks once again, Mr. Manoj.
Happy to be here and great discussions. The question that you have put in, it's something that put me in the thought that what can be done. Okay, how exactly? So not only just about Utho, but a specific industry, BFSI.
Yes.
So
Yes.
uh, love to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you once again. So, guys, this is Mr. Manoj Dhanda, founder and CTO from Utho Cloud. Thank you.